It's going to be recorded. Hi, everyone, again. So now it's recorded. So, as I said, we have some familiar faces, we have some new faces, and I'm saying already now that the session is going to be a little bit different than the previous ones. I'm going to take us a step forward. And because some of you don't know me yet and some do, I'm going to start from the beginning. So let me share. And somebody's mic is on, so I'll have to ask you to mute your mics. Thank you so much. Can you see the screen? Can you see the slides? Jeffrey, I would need you to give me a hint. Can you
Yes.
see the slides?
Yes, I see it. Thank you.
Perfect. So I want to start from a personal story. You might have not heard it before. And how did I come to all these, to what I'm doing? Is that about 10 years ago, I was living in Hungary. I moved there with my family. I raised my two little girls and I did my master's in psychology, and I was really well integrated and I loved life in Hungary. I was studying, I was still a mom. Socially, we were perfectly integrated and I loved being there. And after about 3 years, we had to move back to Germany. I'm just saying that I didn't grow up in Germany. And I realized that it was just a big shock. But I didn't realize how shocking it was to me until I realized that I'm having irritable bowel syndrome. I started having gallbladder issues and then stones in my gallbladder. And then my stomach started to be inflamed. And every 3 days, I found myself in emergency room in the hospital. Then I found myself injecting myself all kinds of medication. And then the doctors came and said, well, we think you have to go through surgery. And that was like a big flag to me. And I said, no, 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 no. Something is not going right here. And I thought to myself, I have to reset not only my body, but also my mind. And this is where I started to get into psychosomatics. It was before I knew the integrative medicine. It was just before I entered that, but I started to really understand the link. But I also, most important, understood that I have to put myself at the front seat. And as a mom with kids, with a high profile husband working, it was really a challenge. But only when I did that, the healing process started. So I'm saying hi to those who don't know me. I've been working 25 years as an occupational therapist. Later on, I added the master's in psychology. And I always worked with people through their bodies, through their vital energy to transform their lives. And whether it was occupational therapy or psychology, at the end effect, our body never lies. Because I do believe that the body is like a dashboard of our cars, and no matter what the stresses are, we cannot hinder that it will give us a notice when the red light is shining, when the body cannot tolerate it anymore. And through that, I specialize in this mind-body approach. And working through decoding the messenger, or what is the body and the pains and the aches are telling us, where the energy is leaking, and really understanding what's lying behind that. So it's all really core. The basic core is rooted in somatic healing, in transforming our energy, our consciousness, and working through the breath. So I'm going to talk about many things. I'm going to touch about many things. So that's why I'm just saying, if you feel you want to consult, maybe you don't want to talk openly about your issues in this platform, you're welcome to text me, WhatsApp, or send me an email, contact me, and we can set a consultation session with me. So what is the greatest challenges to master your life or our lives? And I want to show a diagram. Let's see. I prepared it. Let's see if I would find it, because I want to use the whiteboard. Yeah. And existing whiteboard. And Jeffrey will have to tell me if, no, it's not that one. It was the other one. Let's see. Wait a second, I was preparing it and I can't find it right now. Existing whiteboards. Wasn't a template. Well, you know what? Can you see the whiteboard, Vanna? Thumb up if yes. Do you see the whiteboard? Or Jeffrey?
Yes.
Yes.
You see. Okay, great. I cannot see the template that I created, but I'll try to create a new one. So we start with the fact that each one of you is the inner circle. Let's say it is Jeffrey. Here he is. Now, Jeffrey has other circles around him. And actually, I wanted the Jeffrey circle will be on top, but it's not. Okay. So what I'll do, I will draw it. It won't be that perfect, but you will, I hope you won't mind. No, like that. Okay. Jeffrey has another circle around him, which means with his, let's say, his children, his friends, his neighbors, his hobbies, and other maybe things that his life is occupied with. And Jeffrey is putting his energy. Every time we pay attention and we put our energy into our relationship with our children, with our partners, with our neighbors, in our jobs. What else, Jeffrey, you put your energy in, you pay attention to?
Hugging my trees, a lot of garden, and watching the birds. I watch the birds a lot.
Okay, I was looking into where you give your energy. Let's say paying attention for tax paying, your bills. And that will be maybe that will be even the larger circle, because then we have the people we meet in the town or the village, then we have our governments and so on. But in all these circles, we put our energy into. And when we want to master our skills, as I said before, we want to put ourselves in the front seat. We want to concentrate on this inner circle. How do we get back that energy? How do we amplify that energy? And Jeffrey gave beautiful examples of watching the birds, hugging the trees, connecting to nature, isn't it? That's one of the ways that we get back to that center of where we are. So that was an example of why is it so challenging, because we pay attention so much to, it's not distractions, but it is distractions that take out our energy and takes out many times our attention. And it's about learning to come back to the core essence of what we are, the core essence of that inner circle. So I'm closing now the whiteboard. Yes, here we are, getting back to, here we are. Thumb up that you can see the screen. Yep. So the greatest challenges in mastering our life, and now I'm looking into where we are losing the energy, is that especially where there is an emotional friction. So there is an unexpected events that are happening, and they go beyond our boundaries, beyond what we wanted to give of our energy. And they run silent at the background, like a virus of a computer that we are not really noticing that there is a virus on the computer, but it's consuming the energy. So this friction consumes the energy, and at a certain point, the body flashes or giving a warning sign. And the warning sign would be pain, exhaustion, or illness. And it will tell us something is going wrong. But many times what we do, because we're on the run, because we have to function in life, we suppress it and we medicate it and we force it down. And not only because we're on the run, but because we were educated that our body functions as a machine. So let's say we ignore it and we say, it's not the time. I'm going to deal with it another time, but now I'm going to take an aspirin. Then what happens if it goes on and on and on? The body cannot tolerate it anymore and it will collapse. And when I say collapse, is that the body will force myself into a modus that I will have to lie down and think about my life. So it will get to that an extreme of a heart attack, of cancer, of whatever, that I cannot function anymore, that I will lie in bed and think about my life. So what is actually a disease? And it's really nice to look at the word disease because it's a dis-ease. So it's a subjective, and it's very important to know that it's a subjective, expected or unexpected, meaningful emotional event that caused stress to me, because it's the way I interpret what's happened to me. And in the same way, somebody else will be the same situation, but it won't stress them at all. And then I think, why am I so stressed about that? But then what happens is that the stress is noted not only in my brain, in my thinking, but it affects my body. And knowing that every mark in my brain is linked to a particular organ in my body, to a particular center, a particular part in my body. So in the last sessions that we had together, I guided you to map those pains and symptoms through looking into the messenger, through looking where did it come from and why did it come, and to start a conversation in order to see what are the markers that is teaching me and how do I implement what it is teaching me. And it is a step, it's an inner journey, it's an inner conversation with this messenger within me. And this is what I mean, that healing is really a step-by-step process to get to know myself better. However, when I said, how do I map the disease? There are universal patterns that we can see in our bodies. And it's universal because if somebody will feel that they didn't have that connection to his parents as he would wish to, and he didn't receive that love that he wished for through his parents, the symptom will be similar to all these group of people that would face the same issue. And most likely it would be linked to the liver, which is the organ that resembles that parental love. So how do we know? And today I'm going to really quickly go through how do we map these universal patterns. And one part is the chakras. I'm sure that most of you have heard about it and know something about it, or heard it. But the chakras in Sanskrit means wheels of energy. And the wheels of energy, we receive the energy through that and we release energy as well. We have 7 centers, 7 chakras in our body, starting from the very low one. What you can see in the picture is the red one, and that's connected to the earthly matter, to the substance, to the material, to the financial part. This is the lower part, and we can see the chakra as a center, and we can also see that as the lower part of our hips, that will be around that first chakra. The second one, the orange one, resembles the sexual, also the reproductive, the creative part. That will be related very much to the sexual aspects in our life. And you can see that it's also located where the sexual organs are. We go up to the yellow one, that's the chakra that resembles our connection to friends, society. If we feel that we have even fear of talking in front of people, that will be resembling around that part of around the diaphragm, around our stomach. We're going up to the fourth chakra, the green one. This is around our heart. This resembles our deep connection, our loving connection to our loved ones, to our family. It even resembles in our heart. And what part of the heart is affected by that? We go up to the fifth chakra, the blue one, which is around our throat. Our thyroid can be affected by that. This is the part where we communicate through words, through expressions, but also through our jobs and or studies if we're students and we're younger. So this is the way where I express myself into the world. And then we go up to the sixth chakra. You can see the purple one. This is around my third eye, and that resembles my path in life. Do I see where life is leading me? Do I get the hints of where life is taking me? And trusting that I'm flowing in the right direction. And the seventh one, the very top one on the crown chakra, that will be the connection to God, to Almighty, to the universe, to the mother, whatever you want to call it, and maybe Allah. So one part is to see where the symptoms are coming up around what chakra. And then when we know what the area is related to, we can also, it will give us hints of what the symptoms that are showing as related to what area in our life. But that's not all. Our body is a beautiful creation and it has flows of energy within that. And I'm sure you've heard about the meridians, and you know that we have meridians that run throughout the body. In other words, it's like channels of energy that run through the body, which are represented also by a name of an organ. And when a channel is blocked, then many go to a treatment like acupuncture. And the therapist will see what meridian is blocked, where exactly the point is, and he will put the needle in over to release the blockage. It's like a water pipe that is blocked and the water cannot flow, and the person comes and unblocks it, so the water will continue flowing, so the energy will continue flowing. However, if we go to their comfort, we go for such a treatment and we don't understand what lies behind that, the blockage will come again and again. So, for example, I wanted to stop the sharing. Did I stop it, Jeffrey?
Yes, you stopped it.
I did? Okay. So, for example, I had an 80-year-old lady who came to me with breast cancer, and she thought, it's the end of her life. Why should she pay attention? Life will flow. But she did come to me, and we worked on the issue of the breast, and it was on the left side breast. And we found out that there is an issue regarding her children, especially her daughter. And first we found where it started. We worked with her messenger. We worked with the issues around that. And when she understood that, first, her relationship with her children, especially with her elder daughter, was much better in a way that she could connect to her in a loving way. And she was so glad that she can part and she can see her end of the life ending in such a good connection with her children, though her cancer did not disappear, but it went into a remission. So in other words, for her, the cancer remained as a messenger, as a reminder that she wants to constantly work on that relationship to her children, a reminder to connect in a loving way to her children. That's one example. Or an example today of a client that I had, a 43-year-old woman who has multiple issues. And 2 weeks ago, she was admitted to the hospital with an inflammation in her stomach. She was so concerned with inflammation, how she cannot eat anymore. She lost weight because it was something that she has been suffering from a long time. And she was so much into the body, into what medication and what detox I would do and what vitamins. And we brought it back to where did it start? When did it start? What happened after? And we found out that it was linked very much to the death of her father, that he died in a way that she felt that she was helpless in whatever happened there, that he was admitted to the hospital and the hospital admitted a particular protocol, and she knew what's happening, but she could not influence it in any way. And that just before the admission to the hospital, she revisited the location where he died or where he lived before, and all of that raised up. And once we located that issue, that conflict, already there was a relief. And that's already a start to work on the emotional part and understanding the link, why there is such an inflammation around the stomach and why the suffering is. Then, of course, we have to address the body issues. We cannot ignore it, but it always comes together with the emotional crisis behind that. So maybe you want to give me examples yourself, and we can, because last time we worked very much with a messenger, you got your own story, and let's take it a step forward. Let's try to map it in a way that it can give you another hint around what area in your life it is asking you, what is the conflict. Maybe you did not find it completely and you want to unreveal it. Any question around that you would like to share, that you're brave enough to share? Marcilia, you're welcome to open your mic.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Carmel.
Hi.
It's your face. Hi.
Marcilia, can you also open your camera so we can see?
Actually, I'm a mess. I don't know if I would dare to do
If what? Sorry?
if I dare to do this.
Okay, you don't have to. If you don't feel comfortable with
Yeah,
that.
but yeah, one second. Well, anyway, my question is actually, um, I'm starting in a new steps, and they are very fastly manifesting. Just I am sure I am leaking somewhere the energy, and I don't know where.
You
I
start,
I think yeah go ahead.
I didn't understand. You said something, you are starting something, but
Yes, I'm saying that the manifesting in my life is starting to be very fluent, very fast than before. Just I am sure I'm leaking energy somewhere, but I don't know where.
how do you feel that? How do you feel the leakage?
Um, I am so excited to go to my targets, and then my body is not helping. But I'm doing it even.
You're so happy to go where? I didn't get that.
All my goals
Yeah.
I'm heading to, just the body is failing me. And
How
even though I'm going, yeah,
you're achieving your goals, you feel that
yeah,
you're going on your path,
yeah.
but still your body is failing. What do you mean by failing?
Like not responding, exhausted. I don't know. It looks like I'm aging, but I'm not.
What do you mean? You're exhausted. So
Yeah,
what do you mean with the eating?
not eating, aging, aging.
Aging, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but you feel that it's beyond the normal aging.
Yeah. It looks like this. Uh, just a feeling. But I'm going on in my daily life without my I was very athlete. I don't feel that anymore.
You don't feel that athlete like you
Yeah.
used before.
Hmm.
Okay, so anything else you would like to add to that?
Actually, I was trying all aspects of my life as are fine. Not attached to anything. Um, yeah, now when I'm talking, I think because I moved out of Sweden, I'm a little bit sad. Otherwise, nothing.
Okay,
Mhm.
so when we look at as as your body, you're saying you feel that it's aging, that you're starting to leak energy.
Mhm.
The basic understanding is our body is like a battery,
Mhm.
and a battery needs to be recharged. Like we recharge our battery when we sleep. That's the best recharge that we can have. That's why it's advised to go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night and sleep 7, 8 hours. I know in Greek's culture in the summer, it's really hard.
No, I'm fine with that. I am actually sleeping very early, waking up at 5. I'm fine.
Perfect.
I just, in my dreams, I go to some dimensions. I don't know where is that.
And the issue is that with the age, the battery doesn't recharge that well as before.
Mhm.
Just like our phones, really, really just not like
Um,
phones. In a certain time, we have to change the battery of the phone.
okay.
Yes, but we can't change our battery that quick. So we have to load our batteries. And we load our batteries in in raising the life force of in our body. And by doing that, the best place where the body stores energy is our muscles. And this is why when we start
Mm.
to age, and even before, we want to grow our muscles.
Mhm.
So growing muscles, working on muscles. So going for a walk is not enough. We still have to do some muscle work to that. So you can combine it with squats, with push-ups, and so on. So
Mhm.
building your muscles is putting the energy into the battery. Charging energy is being in the sun.
Mhm.
Even
Okay.
15 minutes a day, sit in the sun, especially if you're in Sweden, it's lacking
No,
light.
I left Sweden.
You
Whatever.
okay,
I'm in UK, but I'm doing everything you have mentioned. It's
yes.
still I'm leaking energy. I don't know. It's just coming to my mind. It's my womb, but I don't recognize any problem in in my womb.
And
And I feel something. I don't know if this is normal that my DNA is not well.
how do you know that your
I
DNA
don't
is not
know.
well?
It's just idea that something like inspiration coming since this month, since the beginning of this month.
It can be very much that also because of the moving countries and you're moving zones and you're moving energy centers, that it also depletes your energy. So all
Yeah.
the process of acculturation, be very mindful of how you recharge yourself because it consumes
Mhm.
energy to get adopted, to adapt to new places. And then what happens is our weak sides in our body start to manifest. They start to manifest signs in them. And
Mhm.
that's what happens. So it might be that you feel your womb because that's the weak part within you, but be
Mhm.
mindful of the situation you're at. So it's not only aging, but you're also in a situation of acculturation that depletes your energy.
Okay.
Does
So,
that? Mhm.
any more advices? That's it for me. Thank you very much. I'll close my. But if you have any more advices, I'll take it. Thank you.
The issue is that the session is so short. And we're already approaching the end. And that's why I'm saying that. So I'm offering you guys that whenever, if you want to have a private conversation with me, really to dig more in depth with your issue, and you don't want to open it up here with everybody, then you're welcome to contact me. So one more question to you guys before we part. And oops. Jeffrey, thumb up that you see the slide. Yes.
Yes.
What is your biggest takeaway from this session? Maybe there was a sentence, maybe there was a word, maybe there is a realization that you find for yourself that you're taking with you when we part. Anybody would like to share?
Yes. What got my attention with just what was just being shared when she moved from Sweden to either, I don't know, Denmark or wherever it was, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy throughout this whole vehicle, the big change. And that's what caught my attention, to really accept change, because it's change. That got my attention.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you for highlighting it, especially now in the summer. We're going to start to move a lot. So Marcelia moved countries, but moving takes energy. And be mindful of moving. And when we move, that we have enough time also to recharge our batteries. And be mindful if there is any conflicts on the path. Anybody else who would like to share a takeaway from today's meeting? Anything that came up to his mind?
May I talk?
Yes, Van.
The same thing it was for me also, that I could never imagine that the fact that moving from one place to another could be so big deal for our mind and our body, because normally we have combined the vacation with having fun or get dressed. But we can't imagine, I never could imagine what you told us.
Isn't it also, as mothers, before the family goes to vacation, we have to pack the stuff. We have to think about the house. We have to plan how we're going to get there, how the vacation is going. There's so many. And when we get to the vacation, we're like, oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, to be so mindful then, to be so conscious and taking care of how we do that and how we recharge the battery. And even when we come back home after the vacation, isn't it? The laundry, unpacking, having the house again. Yeah. So imagine, like Marcelia moving countries, it's even more, yeah, it affects the body even greater. And it's interesting because it comes back to that example that I gave you guys in the beginning of me moving from Hungary back to Germany, and what a shock it was for me, what I had to give up, what I had to build up. And it really, really depleted that. And until I realized that it was such a shock for me, I could not really deal with that. I dealt with the body as a body. But once I understood that, then I started to work with a crisis, with a mind, putting myself in the center. And that's where the healing started. And this is where also my path continued. And here I am doing what I'm doing. So again, I'm reminding you guys, if you want to dive more in depth with your personal issue, you're welcome to contact me. And beyond that, I thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for your presence. And we're here also in the group to continue that journey each one of us, our inner journey of bringing ourselves in the front seat of the vehicle that we are driving in life. And I am welcoming Jeffrey to say, the elder of our tribe, to say the closing words. Jeffrey.
I'm honored. I'm honored. Well, it's nice to see you, dear souls. Mada, bless you, my brother. And Marcia, we were both in classes together, but bless you both. Carmen, you are such a gift and such a blessing that you take the time to share your love with us. You're deeply loved from here. All I can say is really to spend time with nature. It's so important at this time in life because there's so much going on the planet. And to keep walk on the earth, hug the earth, actually lay on your tummy on the grass, but spend time with the earth. It's really important. The birds, the animals, we're all one. Just think the earth, everything on this earth came from the earth, Mother Gaia. All of our clothing, our food, our birds, all these, everything, us. And then when we leave, our bodies leave, it goes back to the earth and we go back to the divine spirit. So I think the big thing for me today is just to say, really respect Mother Gaia, and in return, respect yourself and love yourself, and look in the mirror every day if you can, and just to say how appreciative you are of this vehicle. Bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey, of reminding us of being thankful for that we have and having each other on this journey. And I'm looking forward to see you again very soon. Love you all.